Welcome once again to Some Good Seeds. One of the things that I think about sometimes are the little things in our lives. Little things that don't seem to be all that important. Psalm 106 verses 43 through 45, I think kind of speak to that. Well, not kind of, they speak to that issue, although they don't say those words, but yet they really speak to them. So, 1 Chronicles 16, Psalm 106, and Matthew chapter 19. But those verses in Psalm 106 say this: many times he delivered them, but they rebelled in their course and were brought low for their iniquity. Nevertheless, he regarded their affliction when he heard their cry. And for their sake he remembered his covenant and relented according to the multitude of his mercies. Now, there are several things that are just so wonderful in this passage as you start to break it down. Many times they rebelled. What is sin? It's rebellion. It's me saying, oh, no thanks, God, I'll do what I want to do. I'll satisfy my own desires rather than be circumspect, as Paul says in the book of Ephesians chapter 5 in our walk. So it's important that we regard the little things and don't dismiss them and don't compromise, and how important it is. And it's just as important that we manage and take care of little things. I think of it in my own life. Are there little areas of compromise in my life that actually, as the psalmist says, bring us low because of our sin? Those things that we just say, well, it's not that big a deal, we let it go, but we compromise in those areas. And what does it bring? Well, it does bring at times the discipline of God, and certainly it affects our lives, even when we think that it doesn't. So we have to pay attention to that. The beauty of this is found in the 44th verse, where he says, he regarded their affliction. Boy, how many times have I just struggled and chafed underneath the weight of my compromise, my sin, and in that I cry out to the Lord, and what does he do? He shows mercy to me. He relents according to, I love this phrase, the multitude of his mercies. Oh, mercy implies need on part of the one who is crying out, and resources adequate enough on the part of the one who is going to give the mercy. God's resources are multitudinous, and he has plenty. That doesn't mean that we presume upon the mercy of God, that we just say, oh, well, God will forgive me, I'll go ahead and do this. No, it means that we regard him and his love and his kindness to us, and we submit ourselves rather to God and resist the devil so that he flees from us. So just so important that we understand that he is merciful. That it's easy. I get what I'm trying to say. It's easy to compromise in the little areas of life. But the problem is that those little compromises lead to greater compromises down the road. And it's important that we don't compromise in those little things, so that we do not learn the ways of the world and submit to those kinds of things, because the love of the world, that's not the love of God. And so we need to be careful about those things so that we don't stray, so that we don't wander from our walk and our relationship with the Lord. So it's paying attention to those things. I love the words of this psalm, especially that he relented according to the multitude of his mercies. When you cry out, he hears. So if you're struggling today, if you're wondering what's going on, cry out to the Lord, and he will answer according to the multitude of his mercies. We can trust him with that. Amen. Well, I pray on this Monday morning, as you get started, the Lord will bless you as you take time to meditate upon him and upon his word throughout the day, and allow the Lord to just fill your heart with his mercy so that you can walk uprightly before him. Amen. May the Lord richly bless you today. Hey, if it's a blessing, like us, share it on your Facebook page, sign up on the YouTube channel, drop a note once in a while. Those things are really appreciated. And so together, let us be people that are impacting our sphere of influence as we allow the mercy of God to do its work in our heart and lives. Amen. God bless.